Good morning, party people. I used to think that I hated parties, and I am loving them now. And I've been going to a lot of them, and everything that I thought being an adult would be, I am leading into. Like, parties are so fun when, for me, I'll put it on me, like being more confident, but there's just something different about adult parties versus high school or college. And a good bonfire or picnic or sunset, anything outside with people who are nice, find me there. I went to a bonfire yesterday and I dressed up, I put makeup on, I blow dried my hair. I got a new Revlon thing that my mom has had for years. And then, yeah, it looks like your hair is straightened when you blow dry your hair. It's awesome. And then I showered when I got home, and I still have some makeup on my eyes because I just showered. I can't believe my hair looks so straight because I went to bed with it completely wet. Today, I wanted to get on here because I've been reading and journaling this becoming the one stuff. And I've been wanting to share the beginning part of this with you since I read it a few weeks ago. And I've been on this journey, but the parts that stood out to me and that I've been hearing a lot about recently is just how healing nature is and how you can just feel better, happier, more meaning in nature. Yeah, and it's good for healing, it's good for learning how to be alone and on your own. Actually, this is something I should say more often. I wonder if, because this is how it was for me, being in nature is good for not being anxious, and also probably one of the best things that you can do if you're trying to learn how to be okay on your own or hang out alone. Try going to a park surrounded by trees or on a little hike or a nature walk and see how that feels and report back. Because I feel sometimes the most fulfilled alone in nature, also with people in nature, but soon I'm going into the woods again alone for a long weekend, and I am so excited. And when I went to the desert for a weekend alone, I have some videos on here. I could have stayed there forever. It was just so comforting and connected to the universe, to God, to source, to everything around you. You become this conscious, I don't know what I'm talking about, consciousness, connected, all the things. Speaking of, that's going to make me want to bring over my book, No Bad Parts, too, because I've been reading that and it's all freaking connected. A lot of this stuff is very similar and makes me happy about the path that I am on and that I teach and coach. And I'm hitting pause on here every once in a while just so that I can think a little bit, get the book. Also, because I want to read parts out of this, I don't need you to be watching me look through the book, I say as I'm looking through the book. But is there anything else I want to say first? Just a random quick thought. I would much rather be single and on this path than in a relationship that's not for me, in a bad relationship, in a bad marriage. And if you're in a situation where you're afraid to break up with somebody because you're afraid of being alone, like, it's pretty good over here. And I feel like I'm able to do so much healing and community building and friendships and learning how to take care of myself. Like, I was just thinking about how grateful I am to be keeping my standards as high as they are right now in dating. And it's allowing me to have a lot of time to figure out who I am and do what I want to do and figure out what I want to do without the distraction of like trying to make a relationship work that shouldn't work. And take that as you will. There are so many different rabbit or nuances maybe with that, because you might say, oh, your standards are too high. but trust me, I give a lot of people a chance, and my standards are probably still a little bit too low. But this isn't about that. It's more about I'm appreciating this single time. And I was just talking to some people who sometimes when you're before you meet the person that you're going to marry, you could spend time completely alone. You could spend some time with relationships that just don't work out or in bad relationships that are longer. And there is no bad, but I just don't want people to be afraid of being alone because there's a way to make it feel so, so good. But for me, what's hard is sometimes when I start dating, that's the hard part. Being alone is fine. Being with somebody is fine. But the dating part is hard. But I'm also learning a lot about myself, and this book is good for learning your relationship patterns and stuff and how to heal them, whatever. How to like I feel like I'll pick better and be more discerning. Okay. There's no need to get into that. I don't really know what I'm trying to say with that. I just feel like this can only help all of my relationships in life, but this book is about not trying to find the one. It's not so that you get married or whatever. It's about really getting to know and love yourself. And like you are the one for you. So, this book talks about how sometimes your deepest work will be within a relationship. And that's how this author was. Like, she was fine alone, and the harder thing was being in a relationship. People are just different. Some people need to learn how to be alone. Some people need to learn how to let people in, basically. And okay. This is the paragraph that I loved the most and I relate to. Big change often evokes more change. It's a domino effect. In the process, it's normal to question parts of yourself as you let go of old stories and beliefs. It's normal for some friendships to end. It's normal to discover you need more time alone. With change often comes grief because for something new to emerge, something else in your life may need to die. Times of transformation ask us to be highly discerning with our energy. Trust yourself and the choices you make during this time. It doesn't need to make sense to anyone but you. Yep, that's how I feel like I am and what I have been, the journey I have been on. And so this was very validating and like, even though I was already doing it, it gave me more permission to let certain things go, certain people go, and spend more time alone. And the part about it doesn't need to make sense to anybody but you. So good. But this is why I love coaches and friends who do allow you to be as you are and who do get it and how like it does make sense to them. It's very nice to have at least one person. And I'm a mindset coach and sometimes I am that person for my clients. Like that they can be completely and totally them, no judgment, and all right, let's do this. Like I'm in it with you. Let's do what you need to do. Because sometimes you changing could be small or big. Not everybody's gonna get, and they don't need to. Okay, it says during this time. Oh, sometimes before we're about to have a healing moment, we hit a wall and we give up. We put the book away, blah, blah, blah. Please know that it's okay to feel uncomfortable along the way. These feelings simply mean you care, so take some rest and then keep going. It says consider taking a break from alcohol and substances, make yourself a priority, keep a journal, let go of the timeline. This I love. Make room for joy. Don't let the idea of healing become an obsession. When it's beautiful, while it's beautiful that so many of us are taking on the deep inner work of clearing our past traumas and removing the blocks we've been carrying for generations, we also need to be mindful not to become so focused on healing that we forget what it's all for. I feel like I've been doing a good job of this too. Experiencing more joy and connection. Make room for play and laughter and acknowledge yourself for each step you take along the way. Yes. It also says explore your spirituality. We can feel this connection in our dream space in meditation and when we are immersed in nature. Some feel comfortable with God, source energy, or Mother Nature. Not talking about religious context here. You're free to explore what your personal relationship to spirit is. Yeah, this, I am obsessed. Okay, the next chapter, this is a little quote to start it off. It says, "It's normal to fear change, but do not let your fear hold you hostage. Pack it up, carry it with you if you must. Stare down your own darkness and walk until you see the light." Oh my gosh, I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was saying how I used to be in like bad places in the beginning of my 20s, just like emotionally anxious, sad, all this stuff. And then I wasn't. And then now, if I'm in a relationship that I shouldn't be in, sometimes I'll feel those feelings again until I end it. Or there are probably other examples too, but I have done such a good job of learning what energizes me, what brings me joy, what makes me feel good and high vibe. And one of those things, this was solidified this week, is sharing what I know, teaching, connecting with all of you. So thank you for allowing me this space. And if you're watching this, hello. I hope this is helpful. But my mom said this, and she said, it seems like I know the things that make me happy and that I can live a life where I'm feeling good most of the time. And two, she said, yeah, just keep following your energy, because I have a very good, she didn't say this exactly like this, but I do feel like I have a good internal compass of following the joy, following what feels good. This is why I didn't drink after freshman year really of college, because it doesn't feel good for me. So the things that are net negative, I don't typically want to do. And I don't know, follow the joy, follow what feels good. This also reminds me of Abraham Hicks. If you ever look that up on YouTube, there are 15-minute things. It's like a spiritual thing, but it's a woman talking and channeling Abraham Hicks. I don't really know how to explain it, but they're always talking about following the joy. You are meant to feel joy. And so stop going to things that don't make you feel joy. And I don't know what else. But most people know, how can you add a little bit more joy in your life, a little bit more fun, a little bit more connection, like spending a few minutes without your phone, drinking tea in the morning or coffee or whatever. Like the weekends on a Wednesday that I would do with my aunt during COVID. How can you bring some of that weekend energy or that vacation energy into your day so that for these 5 minutes you are on vacation? There's no reason you can't do that. I decided to restart this book. I was reading random parts of it. I read a good amount when I first went on my first solo trip. It's good, and this is a good book to keep by your bed. There's so many meditations and just things that just make you relax and feel good. Also educational, so there are sometimes big words and stuff. I just like it to read before bed. This and The Power of Now, not The Business Trip. I started reading this book, The Business Trip, that I did hear was a thriller, but oh my gosh, it's scary. I don't think I'm going to finish it. But I got to a really scary part, the first like really creepy part the other day, and I had to like flip through until I found some sort of resolution to it, or at least like another boring part where it's like a little bit calmer. Okay, so this is the part I wanted to share with this. Oh my gosh, I might just read the first page or two. So this is no bad parts introduction. As a psychotherapist, I've worked with many people who come to me shortly after their lives have crashed. Everything was going great until a sudden heart attack, divorce, or death of a child. If not for that life jarring event, they would never have thought to see a therapist because they felt successful. Okay, let me say that a different way with a different tone. If not for that life jarring event, they wouldn't have thought to see a therapist at all because they were already successful, because they felt successful. After the event, they can't find the same drive or determination. Their former goals of having big houses or reputations have lost their meaning. They feel at sea and vulnerable in a way that's unfamiliar and scary. They are also newly open. Some light can get through the cracks in their protective foundations. Those can be wake-up call events. Those can be wake-up call events if I can help them keep the striving, materialistic, and competitive parts of them that had dominated their lives from. Okay, so if I can keep those parts, striving, materialistic, competitive parts that had dominated their lives from regaining dominance so that they can explore what else is inside of them. In doing so, I can help them access what I call the self, an essence of, love this. Okay, listen up. What he calls the self, an essence of calm, clarity, compassion, and connectedness. And from that place, begin to listen to the parts of them that have been exiled by more dominant ones. As they discover that they love listen to this. As they discover that they love the simple pleasures of enjoying nature, reading, creative activities, being playful with friends, finding more intimacy with their partners or children, and being of service to others, they decide to change their lives as to make room for their self and the newly discovered parts of them. Those clients and the rest of us didn't come to be dominated by those striving, materialistic, and competitive parts by accident. Those are the same parts that dominate most of the countries on our planet, and particularly my country, the United States of America. When my clients are in the grip of these particular parts, they have little regard for the damage they're doing to their health and relationships. Similarly, countries obsessed with unlimited growth have little regard for their impact on the majority of their people or the health of their climate or the earth. My goodness. Such mindless striving of people or of countries usually leads to a crash of some sort. I'll stop there, but would you look at that? I feel like this is what I do in my life and what I want to do with my clients, and that I do, like, to get them to feel more of their self, the calm, clarity, compassion, connectedness, and then, yeah, enjoying the simple pleasures of enjoying nature, reading, creative activities, being playful with friends, finding more intimacy, and being of service to others. I just love that. And then after that, I went right to bed yesterday, better than the business trip. All right, so those are some of the things that I've been loving reading and that stuck out to me and that I want to remember. And that is kind of a driving force in my own healing and what I do with my clients. I'm a mindset coach and I help people to start the thing that they know that they want to do, but they haven't made a move on yet, because when you're in this healing journey and it says get into nature, be creative, connect with others, that all involves a lot of emotions and mindset stuff of being a beginner, showing up places where you might not know anybody, how to find these things in the first place. And it might not be fun the first time either. So to actually start this journey in the small, and it shouldn't be that big at first, but how to even start thinking about the direction that you want to go in and then make a move towards that. That's what I love helping people do. So if you want to chat more about that, hit subscribe if you found value in this too. But if you want to chat about this, you can comment or DM me on Instagram at How I Live My Life. And there's also a form in my bio on Instagram if you want to apply. That's HOWE, I Live My Life. And I think that's it for today. Hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay tuned. I'll talk to you soon.